About the path and the role of the shaman in Hawaiian Islands.
Okay. The shaman tradition, now when we use the word shaman, we're borrowing a term from a single tribe in Siberia. Right? And the name for their person who dealt with the spiritual world, interacted with the spirits of nature, and with all spirits for the good of the community, was shaman. These were the Tungus people. There are other peoples around them, the Mongol, the Buryat, and others, who had different names for the same type of person. But the anthropologists first studied the Tungus and got intrigued by this person and used that name to describe a similar type of person no matter where they found them. Okay, so this is a borrowed term. The equivalent term in Hawaii for someone who does this kind of thing in the community is kupua. And the full name of the practice is kalakupua. So, the role in Hawaii was pretty much the same as the role elsewhere. The shaman in some of the cultures was sometimes known as the trickster because he worked with belief systems. He used humor, he used jokes, he used stories to heal. Okay? In the West, when you say trickster, you immediately think of somebody bad who's trying to do you in. But that's not how the shaman trickster works. Sometimes that trickster would do things to humble the mighty. One of the characters who was a shamanic type of character in Polynesian myth is Maui. Not the island, Maui, in fact it's Maui, if you want to pronounce it right. Sometimes called Maui the hero, Maui the demigod, Maui the magician, Maui the trickster, Maui the shaman, because the same translation for all of those words is kupua. So these were people who went into the inner world, went on journeys to bring back useful things for society. Maui in various places is credited with bringing the secret of fire to people, to help them stand up, to find islands, the secret of cultivation, how to make rope, all these kinds of important cultural and social skills are attributed here, as in other cultures, to the work of the shaman, who went and visited the gods or the spirits and maybe tricked them into giving him the knowledge so he could share it with people. Okay? The healing role is one of healing primarily, with the shamanic healing, primarily healing through the mind, through beliefs. There were many types of healers, and they all borrowed from each other as far as technique went. But the three main traditions of healings were from the priesthood, who specialized in the body work, from the it's like I call them the technicians. They're translated as a priesthood, but primarily the order of Lono, who did their healing, principally herbal healing was their principal one, and surgery. And then finally the shamans who did it, they were more the psychiatrists, psychotherapists, if you like, of the healing, only with that spiritual part added. And like I say, they borrowed from each other, so you're not going to be able to find a clean line between any one of them, but it's where the emphasis lay. Okay? So the people who did massage would involve the mind to assist the massage. The people who did the herbs might involve massage and the mind to assist the work of the herbs. And the shamans might use massage and herbs to assist the mental changes. That kind of thing. But their principal role was as healers of various kinds. But they were also very independent and non-hierarchical, like shamans all around the world. They did not have a priestly hierarchy. They did not acknowledge any kind of hierarchy. There was no boss shaman. Oh, if you were apprenticed to one, why, you would follow his instructions, but he had no rules over your life. and there was no one above him. And when you graduated, let's say, there was no one above you. So one of the things that they had was a kind of role that they kind of played, was a role of reminding people of freedom. Made them unpopular sometimes, you can imagine. But they played that kind of role too. That got them sometimes into a lot of trouble.
How about the path of them? I mean, how do they, are they chosen or by family or?
Like shamans around the world, there are several different ways. Different cultures have different preferred ways to do it. But typically, what was typical in old Hawaii was to watch a child at play. Now, play was always preparation for work, but if you did it well, it was still play. But they would watch a child and see where their skills seemed to lie, their natural inclinations and interests. And then they would be guided and coaxed and led into that tradition. Never picked and forced. It was always their natural inclinations that were encouraged. Okay? On the other hand, a person might be older and suddenly have an insight, an inspiration, a dramatic spiritual awakening or experience that would guide them into that. The shaman path is acknowledged, or a shaman is acknowledged, whether they receive their knowledge by inspiration from the spirits directly, or the ancestors, or whether they received it as part of an apprenticeship with a teacher. How they got the knowledge is not important. Their ability to do what was required or needed, that's what was important. And that's a great lesson from the Hawaiian system. Okay? So lineage was important only to the degree that it produced a good result. It didn't matter where the knowledge came from. Could you do the stuff? And that's what was looked at.